One of the most famous murders in New York City history was the 1964 stabbing death of a young Queens woman by the name of Kitty Genovese. Genovese was chased by her assailant and attacked 3 times on the street over the course of half an hour, as 38 of her neighbors watched from their windows. During that time, however, none of the 38 witnesses called the police. The case provoked rounds of self-recrimination. It became symbolic of the cold and dehumanizing effects of urban life. Abe Rosenthal, who would later become editor of the New York Times, wrote in a book about the case, "Nobody can say why the 38 did not lift the phone while Miss Genovese was attacked, since they cannot say themselves. It can be assumed, however, that their apathy was indeed one of the big city variety. It is almost a matter of psychological survival if one is surrounded and pressed by millions of people to prevent them from constantly impinging on you. And the only way you could do this is to ignore them as often as possible. Indifference to one's neighbor and his troubles is a conditioned reflex in life in New York, as it is in other big cities. This is the kind of environmental explanation that makes intuitive sense to us. The anonymity and alienation of big city life makes people hard and unfeeling. The truth about Genovese, however, turns out to be a little more complicated and more interesting. 2 New York City psychologists, Bibb Latané of Columbia University and John Darley of New York University, subsequently conducted a series of studies to try to understand what they dubbed the bystander problem.
Wake up.
They staged emergencies of one kind or another in different situations
Did you hear that?
in order to see who would come to help. What they found, surprisingly,
Somebody's yelling at
was that the one factor above all else that predicted helping behavior was how many witnesses there were to the event.
What are you doing? Can you see anything?
There's a woman stumbling around. Should I call the police?
I'm sure at least 30 people have called them already.
I should call.
Don't get involved, George. You call the cops and you'll be up all night long. You gotta go to work in the morning. Now come back to bed.